welcome to the Holistic Menopause Solution Summit. We are here with Rod Jeter of the YBAngry program, and I'll let him tell you guys a little bit more about it, and we'll get started.
We're going to help Eliza and Nelsa resolve a disagreement. I always say that I can help any couple resolve any disagreement in just minutes. The instructions are in the book. They're the first 4 pages of the book. They are color-coded and numbered. So the light blue section will refer to the light blue section in the game, and the purple section will refer to the purple section in the game. Can you maybe tear out the this one issue card? There's 2 up front, and then there's 2 more behind it. All you need is 1.
Okay.
Now, can you go a couple pages further, and there's the this one detail card cut on the dotted line, so that you guys have at least 3 each.
Okay.
And they're front and back?
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
3 for you?
3 for me. See, I'm winning already.
So do you guys each have 3 each at least?
Yes.
Okay. So I like people to have at least 3.
Okay.
Okay. So what we have to do, one of the reasons why the YBAngry game approach works so well is that the couple focuses on just one issue at a time.
Right.
So what is the biggest issue or problem that you guys have, or maybe one of you think you have, that if you were able to resolve it today, the relationship would get the most benefit from? Either it's something you think you're never going to resolve, or it might be kind of small, but it's been going on for 20, 30 years or whatever.
Sure.
You want to go with what we talked about earlier?
Okay.
Or did you think of something else?
No, that one works.
All right. So we'll go ahead.
You.
So one thing that's caused some tension between us in recent times is my memory is not as clear as Eliza would like.
No, he does not listen. That is the problem. He does not listen.
Okay.
She tells me things that she remembers clearly, and it's not coming up for me at all.
Because
like
he
it never
doesn't
happened.
listen.
Okay, so Eliza, what's the issue then?
In my opinion, is that he just really and because of the way that his brain works, he's often doing several things at the same time in his head. And so whenever I say, "Hey, can I have your attention?" he says yes, but all the wheels are still spinning and holding up all those other plates. So he's not really giving me his full attention when I ask for it. And so then later on, he doesn't remember what I said because he wasn't actually paying attention.
And so this bothers and frustrates you?
Extremely, yes.
One of the benefits I bring when I'm sitting with the couples, I help them define the issue, the game we actually need to play and settle. I'm not sure yet I'm clear on what the problem is. Sounds like Nelson just doesn't remember things the way you remember, as like he said. So,
well, I mean, I think that the issue is not he is focusing on too many things instead of focusing just on what I'm saying.
Okay, so that would be a problem, and the next step is we have to convert this problem into a yes or no question, and this is how you win the game. After when we get to the end, or we get to some point in the game, you guys will agree, yes, Nelson doesn't listen to you like you, or pay attention like you said. And if you guys agreed on that, then that means he realizes it, and now he can work on it and try to do better. Or You guys will agree, no, you're wrong. He does listen to you. And then if that's the case, then maybe you won't feel as irritated when he doesn't remember. Sometimes the couple has a spot in the middle where they say, like I did one, a lesbian couple, and their issue was, should the stud carry the baby? And this is something that had been bothering them for a couple of years, but they were able to actually talk about it without fussing and arguing, and they had fun. And they came to an agreement that the stud needs to go to the doctor to make sure she's able to have a baby, because that was the stud's biggest problem. She didn't think she was healthy enough to have a baby. And because it was always a lot of tension when it was time to talk about it, they never got to that point. So you guys may have some middle agreement, but usually you just agree yes or no. So how does Nelson listen to me when I talk to him? Can you help me with a yes or no question?
I guess the question would be, yeah, does he give me his full attention when I ask him for it?
Okay. And so you feel like he does not. And Nelson, you feel like you do?
Yeah, to the extent that I remember. And to be fair, Eliza is very good about asking for my attention before just barging in to what I'm doing with questions or comments or whatever else. I mean, that happens sometimes too, but very often she will start with, hey, can I share something with you? Is this a good time?
Okay. So.
And that's part of the problem is I feel like he will say yes, but not mean it, not actually ready. So that's where the problem comes in.
Okay. So let's not discuss it too much. I want to resolve it in the game. Okay. So does Nelson does he give me his full attention when I ask for it? Is that good? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So I say yes. I say no. He says yes.
Right. So can you say yes, right, Nelson?
You think you do? Yes.
Okay.
He does.
Okay. Okay. So can you take one of this one issue cards, the first card you cut out, and in the purple section, I need you to write, does he? I'm going to write it down too, so I'm not with you guys.
Oh, you didn't give me one. Are we each supposed to have?
No, all you need is one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Does he give me his full attention when I ask? She says yes. She says no, and he says yes. So just write down, does he give me his full attention? We're going to try to resolve that. Help you guys come to an agreement on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. So now, the next step is you guys have to decide who's going to be player A and who's going to be player B for the entire game.
You can be A.
You can be A.
That's a good person.
You are.
Eliza is player A and Nelson is player B.
Okay. You guys agree on that?
Sure.
Okay, good. So we're doing good so far. You guys are laughing, and you guys are starting off agreeing. You've agreed on an issue to settle, and you've agreed on who's going to be player A or player B. Okay. So, all right. So, Eliza, can you give Nelson 3 of this one detail cards and give yourself 3?
Got it. Done.
Okay. So those cards they have numbers on them, 1 through 14. And those are the steps that you guys have to go through in that order. Okay. This works every time. And there's only 3 main rules. First, you both have to want the relationship to work. Can I assume that's the case?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. You look like you do. This is not the kind of game you can win by yourself. The relationship has to win or you both lose. Okay. The second thing is you have to be honest about whatever you agree to talk about. Sometimes these discussions are pretty tough, but when people are honest, it's going to work out. No type of counseling or coaching is going to work if you're not honest, right? It may be fruitful for part-time, but not long-term.
Sure.
The third step is that you have to be able to count to 14 because there's 14 steps. So
Oh,
I always get some chuckles on that, but it's likely that somewhere in this process I'll say, hey, wait a minute, you're not on step 8, we're just on step 4 or something like that.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what I need you guys to do now is to, Eliza, I need you to, in step 1, in space 1, write down something to support your position that he does not give you his full attention when you ask. Just one detail.
Okay.
Okay. That space is small, and it's small for a reason. Try to keep it one detail, not 2 or 3, just one detail. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Nelson, can you take your card and in space 1? I need you to write down one reason or one detail to support your position that you do listen to her when she asks for your attention. Are you finished, Eliza?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take another card.
Okay.
And do the same thing. All the reasons that you feel, the proof that you have that he does not give you his full attention. This is a funny one. I've never did one like this one. You need to write it down. So we get all the details down on paper.
Sure.
Okay.
What if I don't have 3?
I would encourage you to dig
Okay.
and find 3. What happens is, another reason why this process works, and once you fix it, it stays fixed, is because we get it all out today while you're playing. Otherwise, in your normal conversation, you might have, you guys might kind of settle something today, and then tomorrow or tonight you come back, oh, and another thing. And at that point, he may feel nagged. I thought we settled this already. So I'm encouraging you to dig deep and try to get all the reasons out.
Okay, I've got my 3.
Did you think you had 3 in the beginning? Or you were just asking?
No, I really didn't think I had 3.
Okay. So see, you were able to pull it out, and those other 2 you won't bring up later.
Right.
When we're finished, you can feel completely satisfied.
Yeah.
You don't resolve it, then you laying there at night going, you know what? I forgot to talk about this.
Yeah.
And Nelson, what number are you on?
I'm on a third one, almost done.
Okay.
He's writing a book over there.
You remember you're supposed to keep it short, Nelson. So Eliza,
Right,
can I see? Can I try to see yours one at a time?
Can you see that? Let's
Oh.
see. No. Maybe a little bit like that, kinda. Can you see that?
Oh wait. Okay, hold on. Oh.
I can put it in the chat if you'd like. I can write it in the chat.
But he'll see it, won't he?
Oh, yeah, I can look away.
It's okay. We'll take it. Let's just go. I'll just assume that you just did one detail, not 2. And Nelson, do you need more cards?
No.
You sure? If you have one more, you should take another card.
You have more?
No,
Proof that
I'm kind of struggling to come up with these 3.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So step 2 on your cards, can you circle A?
Yeah.
And Nelson, on all 3 of your cards, can you circle B, please?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Now the next step is in step 3, you guys have to give each detail a value. How relevant it is to this. Does he give me his full attention when I ask issue? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most relevant, most important. Okay. You cannot duplicate your number. You can have a 9.9 and a 10, or 8 and a 9, 8 and a 8.9, but you can't have 2 9s.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this like a scale of 1 to 10 with like 10 being if this continues, I'm leaving you, and 1 being it's not that big of a deal? Is like that, like, is it that kind of?
Mm, very good question. Nobody's ever asked that question before, but no, it's a this d does he give me his full attention issue is
Sure.
made up of 3 details for you.
Mhm.
Which one of those details are most important?
Okay.
Which one of them is doesn't matter? Just put
Sure.
them in that order. I need you to decide which
Okay.
ones are more important to you. If it's
Okay.
not that big of a deal, then it's a 5 or a 6 or something. But if it's the one that will convince most people that he doesn't listen to you, then you should make that a 10 or a 9.
Yeah. And we're assigning relevance to all 3 cards.
Yes.
Okay.
You just cannot assign the same number.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it.
Nelson, you're done?
Yep.
And you guys are both, this is very important. You're sure that the most important one is your highest number.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I got a 10, a 9, and a 5.
Okay. What numbers do you have, Eliza?
10, 9, and 7.
Okay. So now, right now, this issue of does Nelson give Eliza his full attention is made up of 6 different details. We agree to focus on this one issue, but as you can imagine, Eliza, if you're throwing your 3 details at him at the same time he's throwing his 3 at you, we still have a lot of chaos. So what we're going to do is going to focus a little bit more on just one detail at a time. And we want to start with the most important detail. If we handle the least important detail first, what would happen is, let's say if Nelson satisfied your least important detail, that wouldn't fix the issue.
Right.
And he's thinking, okay, we're good. You're going, and then you'd be like, okay, now what about this? And he's going to feel like, you know. So,
Yeah.
but if we handle the most important detail first, we usually find that the other details don't really matter that much.
Sure.
And also, since we're handling the most important one first, that's the reason why most of the time these issues are resolved in less than 26 minutes. It's going to be longer today because I'm doing more talking today. Okay. But so let's take all 6 of those details, put them together, and stack them in order of relevance with the most important ones on top.
Okay.
We both have a 10. We both have a 9. Oh, you mean individually?
No, together. Put them together.
Yeah. So we both have a 10 and we both have a 9. Who's
Okay. So who's ever 10 we use, then you obviously going to use the other person's 10 and then use the other person's 9.
I'm A.
Yeah.
And then 5, 7. Oh, 7, 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Good.
All right. And we try not to look at the issues. We're just looking at the numbers. I think you did well with that. Okay. So there's a 10 on top, and it sounds like that's yours, Eliza?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to focus on one detail at a time. We're going to handle one detail at a time. So let's take the other 5 details and push them aside.
Okay.
And right now, as much as possible, we want to focus on this one detail. If you need to pull in and talk about one of the other cards, you can if you have to, but let's try to stay focused on this one, okay?
Okay.
So, Eliza, this was your card. All the steps on this front side of the card, you're going to handle. All the steps on the back side of the card, Nelson, you will handle, okay?
Okay.
Okay, but I'm going to push you guys through it.
Okay.
So, Eliza, I need you to tell Nelson what you wrote and the number you gave it, how relevant it is to you.
Okay.
And you guys are talking to each other.
Okay.
Ideally, I'm not here. This is a game you guys are playing at home. Okay.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So I wrote, Nelson doesn't ask for clarification after conversations.
Okay. So as you can see, you kind of wrote that to me, right? You said Nelson doesn't.
Well, I put
So,
he,
but that's,
but
yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah.
So,
So
but
you
that,
don't ask for clarification later.
Okay. All right. So one more time, just I guess I do need you to talk into the mic a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
So what did you write and the number you gave it?
Okay. So I wrote that you don't ask for clarification after conversations, and I gave it a 10.
Okay. Thank you. The next step, that took you guys 1 through 3. Number 4 is next.
Mhm.
You want to back
That's on the other side, right?
So that's me.
That's you. Nelson, steps 4 and 5, those are the most important steps in the game. Here you have to repeat back to Eliza what you believe she means in your own words and follow that with, is that right? That's going to allow Eliza to feel heard. And when you respond, you can actually respond to what she means, not something you thought she meant. Okay. So I'd like for you to start with what you're saying to me is, and just finish that sentence.
So what you're saying to me is, if I ask for clarification after you tell me something, then that helps solidify it in my memory, and it also reassures you that I heard what you said. Is
Is
that
step
right?
5, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
No, no. You have to ask, is that right, Nelson?
Yes,
Oh, is that right?
yes, that's right.
Okay. So Eliza, Nelson said a lot, which is okay. He said a lot more than you said, I think. But, and what he said might be true, but I just want to make sure that's what you meant. That's what you meant.
It's not exactly
Because,
right. No.
okay, so if he says something that's true, but it's not what you meant, you guys could end up talking about 2 different things,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I had to write
So
it short. So
I agree. I agree. But I just want to make sure he's saying what you meant.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what you meant, or was it a little different?
It was a little different. It was. It
Okay.
wasn't quite what I
So
meant.
so you need to say no.
Okay. Well,
Nelson, you understand? Nelson, you understand? Because you could have said, well, it's light outside now. Is that right? And she goes, yes. You guys will end up talking about 2 different things. And this is how we end up uh, feel like we're talking to a brick wall because you're not talking about the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So try again, Nelson. What you're saying to me is, because it's your job right now to make sure you understand what she's saying before you guys continue the conversation.
but I do think that because I thought I only had to say what I had on the card here. I do think I could explain myself better if I can.
So the reason why that space is small, Eliza, is because I only want you to make 1 point.
Hmm.
If you try to make more than 1 point,
Sure.
Nelson has to remember that and
Yeah.
give you all that stuff back. And it really gets hard.
Right.
So if you want to change it, you can change it. But
Well, I don't want to change the point. I'm just saying if I can use more words to explain what I mean by it, then I
okay,
can explain
let's
it.
start
I
over
think you'll
then.
understand better. Yeah.
That's fine. Let's start over.
Okay. All right. So, Nelson, so I'm sorry. So the one detail of mine is, how am I saying this again? Can you remind me?
You just tell them what you wrote and how relevant the number, how relevant it is.
Okay. So I wrote that you don't ask for clarification later, and and I guess what I'm saying with that is that after we've talked, we go off and I assume you've heard me, and then instead of doing the thing that I said, you do something else because you don't ask for clarification. And you also,
Wait, no, no.
yeah,
And you also that
yeah, you're right.
that
Yeah,
okay.
that's another thing. Yeah,
So
and
I think
10 out of it is the relevance.
okay. Nelson,
What you're saying to me is, I don't ask for clarification later, and I go off on and do something different than what we talked about earlier without additional conversation to make sure we're still on the same page, or that you agree with what I'm about to do. Is that right?
Okay, so if it's not right, what would I say? How do we move forward?
No.
So you just say
You
no?
say no.
Okay, I do think that that's much closer to what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So actually at this point I would say yes. Honestly, I would say yes, but I was just curious how that would have gone if it was a no.
You're going to say no. If it's not what you mean, you
Mhm.
need to say no,
Okay.
because you can't continue the conversation and he doesn't understand what's in your head, right? It
Absolutely.
is not gonna. So you just say no. You can, you know, we couples say a lot of times, well, we don't have communication problems, but we do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine what you're doing now if you were frustrated, or if he was frustrated, or if you both were frustrated. How easy it is to get off track and not understand what the other person doing
Yeah.
means. I mean, you're having a hard time while you guys are having fun.
Yeah.
So let's get
Okay.
it right.
But
Let
just to
them
be
get it
clear,
right.
I'm gonna say that yes, that is what that is what I'm saying.
Okay, you saying yes. Okay. All right. So that was step 5, Nelson, right?
Yes.
Circle yes. You, we can't move forward until we have a yes.
Okay.
Step 6 is next. Here, you have to decide whether this detail is or is not true. Yes or no. I mean, is or is not.
So yes, that has happened. So that is true.
Okay, you said that has happened. Is that true or false? You said that has happened. It's okay if it's false.
I'm trying to put a qualification on it that maybe it doesn't happen as often as she thinks it does.
No, we don't do that yet.
Yes, this detail is true.
Okay. So
Circle the
steps
is.
is right. So what happened? What just happened is he has to realize, yep, what you're saying is true, and try to fix it. Or if he had said it's not true and we would talk about it later, then he might help you realize it's not as bad as you think it is, or it doesn't happen as often as you think it is. The big point I want to make here is, as you can imagine, it's hard for a couple to resolve an issue if they can't agree on the details of the issue, right?
Yeah.
All right. He was already kind of, but you guys are together on it. Step 7.
Relevance. 0 to 10.
How relevant is this to you, Nelson, that she feels like whatever she feels, whatever you guys said here, that you don't listen?
Um,
I want to point out that you guys are having fun here, and I imagine this doesn't happen when she's complaining to you about not having done something. So the game is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's the relevance
No,
is
no, 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 no. I just need a number.
10.
10. Okay. So you wrote a 10 down, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were going to try to talk. This is not the talking part. The talking part is next. Okay. So you're saying it's a 10, and she said it was a 10. That probably makes her feel good that you give the same value to something as she does. Even though you might mess it up, at least she knows you sees it as important as she does. Okay. So step 8. Here, Nelson, you can respond to what you understand she has said, and keep it short. In writing, you have to write first, okay?
Okay. Is this like my response of uh, saying what she said in my own words again, or this is my response as in this is what I'm going to do different going forward?
However you want to respond to what she said, what she wrote. This is the I've done a lot of high tension, serious problem issues, and this is the weirdest one, I think. I mean, because it's not a it's almost, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain what the word I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
I know what you mean, and I totally, well, he's thinking, I'm going to tell you that
It's, it, it's just so abstract, seems like, I think is the word I'm
it
looking
is.
for.
It is, but it's one of the few it's one of the few things that we really struggle with. We really don't
Okay.
have any other thing. So,
So now, now that I'm thinking, there's a section, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel. I need more help. You know,
mhm.
there's more sex, big money, money issues. I need more help. And in there, there's the honey-do list. And this would fall under that. And other people someone else might have said, should I have to ask you more than once to get something done? Or how many times do I have to ask you?
Yeah, it's
Or
kind of
stuff
like that.
like that.
Yeah, it is kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know,
Are you
I know
finished,
you told me,
Nelson?
yeah, I know you told me to be short, but I've like filled up that whole space. So,
Okay. I just want you to know that steps 9 and 10, the next steps, she has to repeat back to you what she believes you mean in her own words. So I hope you didn't say too much. So go ahead.
yeah, well, yeah, I'm kind of wordy, but hopefully it's not too much. Um, I'll do better going forward. I'll try to be more aware of when I'm about to do something that we had discussed previously and I'm about to do something different.
Okay. I make people write first because it slows this process down and it keeps people from coming back with some quick emotional response. So the writing in this game is part of the reason why you guys are able to have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So step 9 is next. That's on the other side.
Got it.
All right. Eliza, steps 9 and 10 are just like steps 4 and 5. Here, you have to repeat back to Nelson what you believe he means in your own words, and that's, is that right?
Um, I'm going to talk to you here, so that I'm at the
Okay.
facing the camera.
Okay.
I think what you're saying to me is that you will try to do a better job of um, reaching out for clarification when you're doing something that we have discussed, that um, or that is outside of, and that is also outside of what I asked of you. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you get to circle yes.
Okay.
The next step is 11, right?
Yes.
A focused discussion debate. Here
Mhm.
you guys get to go back and forth and just talk about this one detail card as
Okay.
it relates to the issue. Sounds like you already resolved it a little bit, but just if you want to talk about it, get more clarity, this is where you do it.
Okay. Um,
So, do you have in mind any recent instance of this just to help make sure we're thinking about the same kinds of things?
no, actually, it does seem like the last time that we talked about this, that you've been doing better with it. But we've been together for how long now?
Coming up on 4 years? No, 3.5. Yeah. This fall it'll be 4 years.
Are you sure it's not a lot longer than that? But it was such a frustrating problem for so long that I felt like um, that I still feel like we need to work on it a bit more. But um, I really haven't noticed any any examples that I could
Recent.
say, yeah,
Okay.
that were recent.
Well, that's good. That's reassuring. Because, yeah, I do remember some of the things we talked about in the past. But I was wondering if there was even more recently that we haven't talked about.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if you finish, you can put a check box in
Yeah.
block 11.
Got it.
Step 12 is next. So Nelson, here, I need you to say, I feel better because, and finish that sentence. You're going to say whatever you took from this interaction or what you've learned. And you did well to write it first.
See, he listens.
Okay.
Okay, tell her what you wrote.
Riveting television here, by the way, watching me write on card. I feel better because Eliza agrees that I have been better on this recently. And so I'm more confident that I am understanding what exactly has been frustrating her about this.
Okay. Step 13 is next.
Okay.
Here, you do the same thing, Eliza. I feel better because.
I feel better because Nelson has demonstrated that he is able to listen and to also ask for clarification when he needs to, and that I feel really heard today.
You feel heard?
Heard, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Step 14 is next. Step 14 is on your side, Eliza, but this step you both have to take part in. The first part is, was there any progress on this one detail card? Yes or no? You have to agree.
Yes.
Yes.
So you would circle yes? Did you circle yes?
Yes.
Okay. The second part is, was there enough progress to resolve this issue? Of course, you're going to have to take some time to find out if he's really doing it. But as far as having the conversation, do you feel like it's resolved? If it is, this game is old. The game is over, and we would just tell each other for full disclosure what you wrote on the other cards. If you don't feel like it's settled, we do the same process on the next most relevant card, the top card on the stack.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, yes or no?
I would say yes.
Was okay. So circle yes.
We won the game.
Woo!
Right. Congratulations. So now, and that, how long did that take?
Well, we're 50 minutes in, but we weren't talking the whole time, so maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. So now give each separate the cards.
All of them?
Yes. You have yours and your two and give him his three.
Yep, got it.
So maybe Nelson, you can take your three and tell her what you wrote and how important they were. You guys don't have to do anything else, but if she wants to, Eliza, if you want to respond, you can.
Okay. So my first one is, it's hard for me to accept that my memory is so poor that it's not that I just have a fuzzy memory of a particular thing, but it's like there's no memory at all, completely blank. And that was a 10.
Okay. Keep going, Nelson, to your next one.
Okay. I do remember lots of times when Eliza asked for my attention, and I do remember what she said.
And that's what number you give it?
That's a 9.
Okay. And the next one?
The last one, I lost my mom to Alzheimer's, and it kind of scares me to think that maybe I'm headed down that same road.
Okay. And that was 5? Okay. All right, Eliza, yours?
Um, I put he doesn't remember what we talked about after the conversation, and that's a 9. And then when I ask you for your attention, but you are clearly even though you think that I don't think I wrote this very well. I ask for your attention, but you're clearly not 100% with me.
Still trying to multitask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is done. How long has this been an issue, Eliza?
How long have we been together? Pretty much the entire time.
About 4 years.
Yeah.
And can you tell me what it is about playing the game today that makes you feel like you made some progress and it's possibly resolved?
I do feel like I do feel like you're listening now. You're hearing me, and I think too having not just Rod but also having the game. I think it gave us an opportunity to um be very clear about because we've talked about this before a lot. We've had this conversation, and it kind of goes round and round with me saying you're not listening, and him saying I don't know why I'm not remembering, and then it just keeps going around. So it does feel like it's like a deeper conversation this time.
Okay. Well, I tell people that a lot of the players say the game forces your partner to hear you.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why is because you stay calm enough and you have a little fun while you're doing it and there's no heated emotions flying around. But I'm glad you guys were able to resolve this and less even with all the other talking we've been doing.
Yeah, me too.
That's it.
Woohoo!
All right.
We
Any
won.
all right. Any questions?
No, I just want to say thank you, Rod. This is a really cool format, and I can see how it works to drill down into specific, like factual types of things, rather than accusations and things like that,
Yeah.
and helps, and it slows down the pace of the conversation to
Right.
help keep a lid on the emotions. So
Yeah.
I think it's a really good format, really good tool. So
Yeah.
thank you
All
for
right.
sharing it with us.
I'm glad I was able to help. I put the someone's asking where to get the game. I put my website YBAngry .com in the chat. And at the same time, if when people go to that website, there's a lot of hyperlinks at the bottom. Whatever the title on that hyperlink, should she initiate sex more often? Should he buy a Harley? Should he clean the bathroom? Whatever the issue is, whatever that title is, that's the issue that the couple is trying to resolve.
Right.
So if your listeners of you are having an issue and they see it there, they can sit down and watch it with their partner. And a lot of times, that's enough to give you some a resolution.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you so
Uh,
much, Rod. Thank you all for being here with us. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
all right. Bye bye.
YBAngry